What's up, guys? Sub-Zero here, back for another VOD review. Today, we're doing a Guubums VOD review. He's sitting about 650 LP there, and very solid AVP over the games that he played on stream today. Doing really, really well. Just a good player overall, and played a comp that I want to yap about. He's somebody who he honestly, he yaps a lot in the TFT scene about different things, has very strong opinions. I'm pretty sure he was someone who was yapping about these changes that happened to, Brand that got hotfix reverted. And ironically, we ended up in a spot after the changes came through this patch where perhaps maybe Riot should have, nerfed Brand a little bit. This is our first big decision in the game, whether to make 10 gold here or not, by the way, and then we can yap about Brand. You can make 10 here if you'd like. Lose out on a very nice Vayne setup, but Vayne has been nerfed pretty hard this patch, so I don't think it's something that you're really excited to play into, so I do like making the 10 here. I think this makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I mean, if you just go to any comp website, you just pull up the comps, the first comp is this Street Demon comp. Play around Street Demons, just play vertical Street Demon, eventually get a Ziggs and a Kobuko on your board, and you are really loving it. And spoiler alert, but that's what we're going to end up talking about today. Yeah, actually, Guubums immediately grabs the Wandering Trainer, doesn't even reroll everything else. I'm a little bit surprised that he went for it just so aggressively, but I mean, I guess he thinks Wandering Trainer is the best augment in the game, which I don't know. It certainly allows you to sometimes just win the game for free, and we do have potential for that. So let's talk about this Wandering Trainer. There's actually kind of a lot going on here, because we have Bruiser Divinicore. You could certainly see somebody playing a Vexotech game from here. I mean, you have Bruiser Divinicore very easily. You could probably get to a 4 Bruiser setup. There is this kind of like Bruiser Vex Flex setup that a lot of people have been, well, not a lot of people. I'll say Demacian Raptor, who is a very, very high ranked on the E1A server, kind of hipped me to it. I haven't got a chance to play it myself, but he's a really big fan of just Bruiser kind of flex, he calls it, where you play around Vex or Aphelios, you play a bunch of Bruisers on your board, and you have a good time. Eventually, you add all the 5 costs to your board and win the game. And so you could see us playing around something like that, but I think, especially after I show you the stats, I mean, here, let me pull it up again so I have the exact number. 3.92 AVP on this comp, with not even a really high play rate, honestly. Less than 1 Sreven Street Demon player per game is kind of crazy when you think about how well that comp is performing. It almost seems irresponsible not to play it. The only downside is we did actually just rotate into a Build-A-Bud player with a Dr. Shmundo 3, which is going to be kind of hard for us to, like, they are probably going to be playing around Street Demon, so we'll have to deal with them. But I mean, the world has adversity. Yes, there's adversity in the world because it makes things more interesting, right? If we just naturaled everything for free, I mean, why would we even do the VOD review? It just wouldn't be interesting. Also, we have a pretty interesting decision from Guubums here to hold on to this extra stuff. Hold on Jin pair, hold on Morg pair, saying that Morg 2 is just such a good item holder that we can't pass her up, and she does kind of open up the line more to play into Vexotech. Honestly, take tier off Carousel. I mean, you'd take tier in either line. You do need to get to some kind of tier item for Brand, and obviously in the Vex comp, you need 2 tiers. You want to play for blue buff onto her, and so I think that's the reasoning there, is it keeps both lines open, and yeah, I mean, either way, you're going to want a mana item. We do have the ability to level up here. We could get in another Divinicore in the Morgana. We could get in another Divinicore in the Senna, actually, and that would get Slayer in as well. And yeah, we are going to level up here. Drop out a 4 Bruiser, actually, so that we can play the 2 Dynamo on this board. Actually, really surprising to me that we opt to drop out a 4 Bruiser in this spot in order to play that. I know it's, it's a decent upgrade and allows us to get another damage dealer on the board, but yeah, I'm actually pretty surprised by that. And we do have the Senna. Yeah, I thought for sure our board would just be 4 Bruiser Senna here, and he's kind of considering it. He still, really wants to keep the Morgana on this board. The other thing I guess I will say, we did the VOD review yesterday of Morgana Reroll, and we'll see as the patch develops how good this Morgana Reroll comp actually is. But I will say, the jury's out on if Morgana Reroll is broken, if it's good. But I do think Morgana, just as an item holder, as a unit, is insane and is just something. I think the jury is not out on that one. I played around Morgana today. I had a Morgana 2 deal like 5,000 damage. To be fair, I did have Lightning Jewel, which is like her best Ornn item. I mean, it's crazy on her, but I think she's a beast. I think she's just an absolute monster. If you have AP items, you're really looking to hold on to this Morgana. You can also just throw in 2 Dynamo on your board. It's just a very nice plus trait there. So, I mean, yeah, there's no downside. Ooh, we get the implant size. If you guys haven't seen these are new. I don't know what to even call them. Somebody kind of referred to them almost as like mini anomalies. Permanently increase the champion's health by 350 and size by 20%. So you put this on one of your units and it stays on them the entire game. You just get some extra HP and size onto your unit, which is kind of interesting. Size is kind of a weird thing. I'm pretty sure Mort said that it's like only cosmetic, but like size doesn't always, it's not always just cosmetic. There have been some weird situations where size has actually mattered in TFT where, you know, I know Leduc did a video a few sets ago about how like the unit size might have had an impact on like targeting, like what units get aggroed on first. But I forget, I'm honestly trying to remember what the kind of like conclusion of that video was, because I think it like, I feel like it was that bigger units receive aggro in like a tie, but then I feel like maybe I'm remembering the exact opposite. Someone will tell me in the comments. All right. Second augment here, I mean, it's never health as wealth or bad luck protection. And I mean, tagging spree, I think is a solid. I mean, we're playing around Street Demon, so I don't think it's bad whatsoever. It gives you a bit more flexibility with your positioning. Could go high voltage with multiple sparks, but I would just go tagging spree here. We'll see. We'll see what Mr. Guubums wants here. I mean, high voltage with a bunch of sparks. We'll see if he prioritizes it. Ooh, that is actually really high roll from Guubums for a couple of reasons. One, I mean, we could have fit 5 Street Demon before anyway, but now it makes it easier. And 2, now we can actually just throw down our bonus onto this Nico. And yeah, I mean, before we were kind of holding it, waiting for that first Nico. Now we get to actually use our... what do you call it? I forget what it is, but just like the little bonus thingy, and we get to put it onto Nico here. And I think, oh my god, Nico's gonna clear this board with the extra HP. 5.3k from the Nico. What a monster. Oh my god. All right. I mean, we're off to a very, very good start to this game. And yeah, the double spark from Guubums here with the idea that, yeah, we already had a spark slam, then he said, you know what, I'm going to play for it. I mean, I could certainly see it. This is a comp where there is a lot of kind of free backline access in the Ziggs, in the brand. And so if you end up a world where you get MR Shred onto enemy backline and, you know, zap them a couple of times, you could potentially just randomly kill a backliner. So I think it makes a lot of sense in this comp. Maybe, yeah, even more than tagging spree, which is just a little bit of extra attack speed and some more flexibility with your positioning. But honestly, the positioning is pretty flexible here. You can kind of go wherever. All right, we do still have a lot of good stuff open here. We have the rod, we have the tier here. I would go glove here for JG, but we'll see what Guubums wants. Yeah, he does end up just taking it here. I think it makes sense. I mean, tier item, you want Shojin, but I wouldn't be mad about something like an adaptive helm. Like you can use both, whereas like rod really wants to be JG here. I guess it could still be something like a death cap, but Street Demon is a comp where you're getting a lot of AP. In general, when you have a lot of AP, you want GG over Death Cap. It's kind of weird in that Death Cap is not... it gives you damage amp, so it's not even that bad to build Death Cap, and it's just kind of why historically JG's been kind of a weird item. But in an ideal world, you'd have JG in this comp, and so we end up taking it here, though we don't actually slam it yet, and we do rotate into this player who has a 3-2 10,000 IQ, also an Exalted Adventure. They're just using that to try to get to their 3 stars. I mean, if they make it there, they'll be very strong. That's a natural brand. All right. I mean, if you guys wanted to know how to play this comp, it's just that easy. Natural your brand, natural your Nico, and take your +1, and the game is too easy. But I mean, the really interesting thing this game, I think, is going to be just like how we cap out our board, itemization, stuff like that. Because I think... I mean, play 7 Street Demon, right? I mean, it's very easy to it's very straightforward. These type of vertical comps tend to be really straightforward, right? You put the Street Demon units on your board. The more Street Demons you have, the better, and you get to 7, and it's really good. And then you add some extra units, and you win the game. I mean, maybe we'll see. And okay, I mean that's just high roll. I won't lie to you guys on that part. That one's just high roll. But I do think it's interesting. Comps like this, there is still a great deal of skill expression. You know, in TFT, building your comp is not it. You know, you don't just build your comp and then the game's over. You actually have so many other things that you can do. And this is actually an interesting spot already where we can kind of figure this out here. And also, how deep you roll is going to be a big question here, because I would roll until, I mean, ideally brand 2. It's kind of crazy that we haven't found it yet. That's also another big decision from Guubums that I think, I mean, it makes sense, right, to not make the Rengar 2 here, because like, We could play the Rengar over the Jinx, but Jinx is kind of a monster, honestly. I don't really want to cut the Jinx, and that's the only slot that it really fits in. We're always going to be playing the techies, the strategists. We're always going to be playing Mundo because he's at least a little bit of frontline, and we have the Bruiser, so like we kind of have to. And so, you know, with that setup, we only have one open slot, and that's the Jinx, which will eventually turn to Samira. Second thing that's kind of interesting here is what do you actually want to do itemization-wise? Because the best last item per brand here is, I mean, it's just Guardbreaker and then you Deathcap Ziggs, right? The only downside is you don't get to, he's gonna go for Morello. Okay. All right. I mean, I think it guarantees us the heal cut. The only downside is we lose out on Guardbreaker, which I do think is one of brand's best items, but maybe it was Guardbreaker and then wait for Morello, or I mean, Guubums says it's just straight up Morello here, and then we can figure it out. Oh, I mean, little buddies, we're playing 3 right now. That's quite good. I mean, doesn't it just have to be little buddies? Yeah, I mean, it does. And we hit Ziggs 2 here, which this is going to be another big decision point. I mean, this is what TFT is all about. Do you move items over to Ziggs here? It looks like Guubums is saying no. And the reasoning is that we have now we have a brand too. So I guess the decision doesn't need to be made now. But I mean, he really looked like he was not going to move items over, and his idea is just 7 Street Demon onto this brand is making him better than the Ziggs, even though it's, you know, a Ziggs 2 versus a brand 1, which is an interesting decision, and I mean, I think it makes sense. We win this fight as well. And then the next question is, okay, how do we make it to 9? How do we decide when to stop rolling? Because, like, obviously we're chilling this round. We're only 7 gold, so we're probably not gonna roll, but we're Nico pair here. These are the kind of like in-between rounds that get really interesting, where it's like, do you want to roll really deep here, or roll it all here and try to find Nico too? Because your front line's really not going to stabilize until you have Nico too. We do have the Viego, which does give us a little bit of extra front line, which will help us, and we have the dummy, so maybe you can make that argument that we could get there. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see how much Guubums decides to roll here and what he wants to go for next item. I would still be really interested in finishing off that Guardbreaker for our brand here, but I mean, the more that I think about it, the more that I like the Morello Slam. I mean, he's a good player, so makes sense that the decision was kind of logistically correct here. 7 Street Demon on this guy's board. Would love to get Belt here if we can get it though. And oh wow, oh, tier here, interesting. What is the idea? Samira item or something? I'm really shocked that we went for tier here. I thought for sure you just go for Giant Spell, go for Guardbreaker. I mean, let's do a stats check, honestly, real quick. Explorer. I want to look at this because in my when I played, you know, the brand plus Ziggs old version of this comp, I'd always put heal cut item onto Ziggs here. But let's look. Morello. I mean, yeah, it still says it's better onto Ziggs here. Not really. You know, I mean, you could say 3 item brand, and you know, does that change things? It still says Merle onto Ziggs. So yeah, I'm curious why, because you know, I think, and if you look at brand itemization, yeah, this is going to be the most common built kind of like BIS here, Guardbreaker JG plus Shojin. You can go for this Guardbreaker Shojin Death Cap. It still looks very, very good in the stats. And then yeah, Ziggs just wants heal cut onto him, so this makes sense. Archangel's not an amazing item on brand. I wouldn't imagine it would be. Okay, so yeah, hey, this is what TFT is all about, right? I mean, it's easy to put the brand on your board when you natural a brand, but it's much harder to optimize your items and make sure that you are, you know, building the items that are going to play for highest cap here, because we're 71 HP here, we're win streaking. I mean, you really want to have a good shot at, you know, winning, top 2ing this game from your spot. Like you kind of feel like you deserve to in this spot. Not deserve in that like I played so well this game, but kind of deserved in that like, I mean, I high rolled, so I should get a high placement. TFT, it's always about optimizing like the placement based on what you're kind of given, you know? Some games you're just going to absolutely miss everything. You're just going to get horrible items, horrible units, and you're just struggling for a top 4. Other games, you're just going to natural absolutely everything. This is one of those games where we natural a lot of stuff. And so this game isn't, you know, we're no longer saying, okay, can we top 4 this game? The question is, can we top 2 this game? It's kind of like a sliding scale that, you know, goes up and down with what you get naturaled, what the Mort Dog up in the sky gives you. And so, I mean, that's a question here. Frontline tank, yeah, I like this a lot. I generally like the frontline tank one, and I do think, especially with just the amount of damage that this brand does, I mean, it makes sense. Holding on to the Vhagar here for the potential just level up here, the 4 techie cyber boss. I mean, yeah, it's I think the common way to play this is, you know, you play this board, you get Koboko and Ziggs in on 9, and that's like the dream, because it allows you to get cyber boss in, it gives you a strategist. We're going to move items now, so we'll see what, we do have the Guardbreaker if we want to make it, and then you would look for kind of like tier item onto Ziggs, and yeah, wow, we actually reforged into Shojin, which is really nice here. And so, yep, Guardbreaker getting made here, and then Shojin, Marlowe, Deathcap. Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, the items work out beautifully. I still don't completely understand why I mean, I guess the reason why we took that tier off Carousel is, sure, we could have taken, you know, Guardbreaker and gone for a slam onto Brand, but we really just wanted to have the most just solid items open, and we really wanted to get to a second mana gen item here. It's what we end up getting in the Shojin, even though, you know, we reforged and ended up getting the Shojin, which is kind of funny, but he wanted to prioritize getting a mana gen item for Ziggs higher than guaranteeing necessarily Guardbreaker onto the Brand. Because, yeah, I mean, you can take the Guardbreaker off Carousel there, or you can wait a few rounds after Carousel. Really didn't make much of a difference. We lost like one of those fights, but it wasn't horrible for us. And you end up in a spot here where now we have triple item Brand, triple item Ziggs, and the items work perfectly. So, I mean, it's what's TFC is all about. It's what I've been talking about. It's just cool to see these little optimizations in the itemization end up putting us into a really, really good spot, actually. And now we're 52 HP. Items matter so much in TFT, and the fact that we have basically BIS Brand and BIS Ziggs in this spot, we are over the moon here. And the only thing that we are still really lacking is that front line. At least we have the dummy. The dummy does add some front line, but, you know, doesn't really have any traits. It's not going to be as tanky as this Nico once we get her to Nico 2. Honestly, even Nico 1 kind of looked like it gave the Golem a run for its money, and so we were really looking to just push level here and get I mean, hopefully find a Nico on level 9, but we'll see. Strategist spat or Divinicore spat. Pick up the Strategist spat here. We can just throw it onto the Viego. We do also have the extra in down the line if we can find it for Garen, which is really tempting now. Wow, we're going to completely skip it, though. Okay, yeah. All right, we're also skipping over Kobukos and just saying, yeah, I mean, we don't really have items to play on Kobuko, and so, I mean, this is just our final board. Okay, I mean, yeah, I guess how do you really fit Garen on this board? You either have to drop out of for Techie, which seems rough, and you also lose Cyber Boss here. You're never dropping Viego on this board. I mean, it seems incorrect to... So yeah, we just don't play God of the Net. I mean, it's so crazy because God of the Net so good on this board, but I love how quickly Guubums made that decision. He just said, like, he was not for a second thinking about playing Garen on this board. He knew that this just had to be his board. It was just it was always going to be Viego plus the Veigar and, I mean, the V brothers, I guess. And, I mean, I think it's absolutely the correct decision here. I mean, one, it's going to take a couple of rounds to get God of the Net, and, I mean, yeah, we would get strategists potentially for our Brand, which would be really big, but, I mean, 4 Techie is also a damage increase to the Brand, and you also get Cyber Boss for Ziggs, which is huge here. It's spreading the Morello. I mean, it's doing everything. So yeah, great spot, honestly. 38 HP. Just got to see if we can cap high enough to win the game. Remember, that is our dream here, is winning this game of TFT. He's pulling up the patch notes, actually, for something. Oh, just talking about Viego getting nerfed? I'm actually down here. What was he yapping about? Let's hear.
Did also take the pictures. I mean, he's just worse. The guy just sucks. I mean, he's got double nerf. He doesn't suck, but... Where's my goal? Hello? Where's my goal? Hello? Hello? Hello?
I mean, he just said that Viego got double nerfed. Okay, cool. All right. And we actually used the dupe there at the end. And we're looking for Viego item or for an item onto Samira here. Gonna move the Morello and the Death Cap up to Viego. Yeah, and then, ooh, Shojin down there. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It allows us to get some smear items. I mean, they're a little bit awkward, but I mean, we get to move items over to Viego. I mean, I wonder if he was like kind of considering, like, with the nerfs to Viego, if he actually wants to itemize him over the Ziggs with the Cyber Boss. But I mean, looks like this was the right call. Viego, 9.4k, doing a ton of work with the 4 strategist as well, spreading Morello very well, healing up. He's doing a bang up job. And it's a little bit funny that now we end up in the spot here where the Cyber Boss and the Ziggs really is inconsequential, but still 4 Techie on this board, not bad. I wonder if, because like, honestly, I would have rather had the Garen in, knowing that we were, like, if we had known that we were going to move items up to Viego, which, I mean, is definitely something that we could have foreseen. I don't know, it's interesting, because, like, I mean, having strat onto this Brand, I think, would be much better than just having random 4 Techie on this board, which is good, it's AP, but I mean, it's also AP onto the Viego, so I could see it. I could certainly see it. All right, got potentially one more fight up against Lazng here. We'll see if this board can, I mean, this board, not only is it really, really stable on level 8, but also it caps high, right? There's so many 5+ you can fit onto the board, like the Viego, like the Garen. I mean, obviously Samir we have on the board right now. It's a 395 stack cash out. They ended up kind of playing for LeBlanc 3, right? We rotate. Oh, this is the guy. Yeah, this is the Exalted Adventure guy. That's so funny because it looked like their spot was moving towards them going bot 4. Oh, also, ooh, Samir's so good at melting tanks, though. Low-key, she could clutch this out. And she does. I mean, that's a Sub-Zero fight call. This is why. All I'm saying is, if Kai Watanabe was calling that fight, he would have said, obviously, the Samira lost. That's my quota. That's my one Kai Watanabe flame for the video. Gotta get one in every single video. Government mandated. Well, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe. Check my Twitch for Metafy. All my other stuff down below. If you guys have been playing Street Demon and you think it's broken, post a comment down below and say it's broken or not. If you think Street Demon sucks, comment down below and we can start a fight in the comments. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.